Pampered Chef Party. We're going to go live. I'm going to show you a couple of things that are my favorite Pampered Chef products, because something that I think a lot of people want to know is, are the Pampered Chef consultants really using the product? And the answer is yes. That's actually what convinced me to do Pampered Chef in the first place as a consultant, was because I looked around my kitchen and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got so many Pampered Chef products and I needed to make a little extra money. So I thought, why not marry the two together and become a Pampered Chef consultant? So yay! And I see we have already been joined by Busy Lady. Hi, Busy Lady. Welcome. It's good to see you. So a couple of things, a few things rather, that I'm going to kind of talk to you about tonight. And feel free to answer any kind of questions that you want to. I had originally planned to do this as a Facebook Live, but Facebook didn't want to come and play. So, fine. Let me keep kind of sliding this over some, because I want you all to be able to see me. There we go, there we go. So, yeah. So what I've got tonight is, first of all, I'm going to get you all a little closer. Is that better? I hope so. Okay. So, tonight what I've got is the measuring spoons. I'm so excited. I freaking love these because you can do multiple measurements with one spoon. Okay, no, you go make that money, girl. You go. I'm glad you've got the job, and I'm glad you could be here if only for a few minutes. So yay! So yay! So the first thing is these Pampered Chef measuring spoons. I really like them because you can measure multiple amounts with these. So this particular one is the tablespoon, and it measures from 1 teaspoon. Slide it back a little bit, and you got 1.5 teaspoons. Come on down, you've got 1 teaspoon, 1.5, and then on down to the full 1 tablespoon. And yes, this is a little bit cloudy because I've been measuring with it. I want to show you how this is a versatile product. I'm sorry, how these are versatile products. So I thought we might try to make a couple of different things using my cooking stone, which I absolutely love, because this is great for pizza, but it's also great for breads and cookies, as we're going to see in a few minutes. So what we're going to do is we are going to make some cookies first, and then we're going to go ahead and make some bread. So super simple stuff. Yeah, I love the stoneware, Busy. I love the stoneware. And right now, this month, with Allie hosting the party, Stellarpiper is going to be able to get 2 stoneware items for half off. So it's really a cool thing just for hosting the party. And then next month, that offer is going to change. So you never know what it's going to be, but I can check into it and get you that information. Another thing that I like are these 1 cup clear 1 cup measuring and storage cups. They come with lids, and I love it because I can use these for so many things. So I have measured out some of the ingredients that I'm going to need for when we cook bread later. But I've also got this ready. I'm going to do some melting of some butter in here. And of course you can store leftovers. And these come in multiple sizes. And one of the sizes that they have is like perfect for like soups and stuff. And I'll use it quite frequently in the van when we're doing van life for leftover soup that I can just throw in the crock pot later and heat up. And then I'll just dump it back into the bowl, and I don't have as many messy bowls. It's all right. First things first, who wants to do some Reese's cookies? I have a thing tomorrow that I have to go to, and I need some cookies. And you don't usually think of stoneware when it comes to cookies, but it does great, as you're fixing to see. So this recipe calls for 1 egg and 2 tablespoons of butter or margarine. So we're just going to go ahead and cut the 2 tablespoons of butter into my 1 cup measuring cup. And these are really versatile because you can go from room temperature to the microwave, to the fridge, and even freeze in them. So I sure will. I sure will. Let me stick this over here in microwave. We're just going to give this a few seconds. I'm going to put it in it on 15 seconds. 15 seconds. And while that is starting, I need to get another little bowl that I can whisk the egg up in, and I'll be right back for that. And I'm right here with it. Let me also check something else out here. Yeah, I've got the laptop going and my phone. Let me see. I got a message from Stellarpiper here. You see what she wants. She's asking me if I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. We are live. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Let me remind her that I'm live. Life is good. Always something comes up that's a tech issue. Whenever you need something to work the most, that is when a tech issue is going to raise its head the fastest. Okay. So, yeah, it says I'm live and it says it's public, so we should be good. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But here we go. We've got the butter should be melted. I'm going to get the egg out that we need. And my large mixing bowl. Medium mixing bowl, okay. And we're going to get it going. So, right here. This is my 1.5 cup measuring bowl. Yeah. And we'll just get a fork. Whisk it together, because you always want to whisk. All right. This is not Pampered Chef. It's one I already have. I actually got that probably at Walmart. Okay. Tear here. Okay, so this is going to have to go for just another minute in the microwave. I say minute, it's actually going to go for half a minute. And one of the other things that I like to use that's Pampered Chef is this wonderful Pampered Chef spatula. You see the label on that, there you go. These things, Pampered Chef products, are not necessarily cheap, but they do last. I have had their products for a long time and have had really, really good success with them. But like I said, they're not the cheapest, but as far as longevity, I'm not sure you can beat it. This I got several years ago. It's a simple cutting mat. Love it. But if you can tell, it's pretty scratched up. I probably had this, yeah, I'm not going to even guess it this way. But you can tell that for the years that I've had it, and as scratched up as it is, it's still in really good shape. Tanya Lambert's in. Hi, Tanya. How are you? It's good to see you. So let me grab this butter. There we go. Here it is. So I'm just going to add that to the cookie mix that I have here. And I'll have part of what I need for tomorrow. Adding the egg. And if anybody wants to have a party, let me know. You can contact me just by messenger there. Stellarpiper, Allie will get some credit for it. And you next month will get some discounted products. Now that's assuming your party qualifies. You do have to have $200 in sales to qualify for those discounts, which is usually not hard at all because Pampered Chef stuff is just amazing. All right, so we have this. It's that Reese's Pieces cookie mix that I showed you just a minute ago. Nothing super fancy. But what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and scoop it out here on the cooking stone, on the baking stone, the stoneware. Oh, Valerie's in here. I didn't see that. Hey, Tanya. And hey, Valerie. All right, so let me make sure. I've got to always consult the recipe here. So we are set up for a non-stick pan. You always want to check that on the recipe because this is definitely, I would say it's a non-stick pan. You'll see what I mean by that in a few minutes. It's really easy to get the cookies off. And how long do we bake these bad things? 11 to 13 minutes. Okay. We're going to use the cookie scoop. These things are awesome. It's probably one of the first things that I got when I started buying products from Pampered Chef. That and the measuring cup. I'm going to be showing you all the measuring cup in just a few minutes. The measuring cups that they have are really great because they're double-ended. And what I mean by that is on one end you can measure solids, and on the other end you can measure liquids. And you do that just by turning the cup. And if you need to do a quick little rinse, then all you do is stick it under the faucet. Again, this stoneware baking stone is great. You can do pizzas, breads, cookies, pretty much anything that you would put on a regular cookie sheet, you can do on the stone, and it usually always will come out better. It does with me anyway. If you've got a different experience, let me know, because I want to know that too. Because any experiences that you have with a product helps me as a consultant. And that helps me help the next person. So yay! And I really like that Pampered Chef is doing their parties online now, because it makes life so much simpler. Because who's got time to clean up their house? Answer me that. Drop that in the comments. I want to know who has time to clean up their house and get it ready for people to come in person to their living room for a party. Because I don't. So Facebook, it is. They've also got a platform called Table, which is great for people who are not on Facebook. And pretty much everything happens by text message. So, okay. I'm hoping that I didn't put these too close together. If I did, that's on me. Don't blame Pampered Chef. Once in a while, I do have a baking disaster. If you saw on Facebook earlier this week, over in my Pampered Chef Party link, I attempted to do this apple pie. And I put on there that sometimes it's your family that cheers you on, and sometimes it's the smoke detector. Yeah, that didn't go well. So, all right, here we are, stoneware baking stone, and it is going right in the oven. This is set at 350. And we're going to say, okay, Google, set a timer for, let's say, 13 minutes.
Okay, 13 minutes. Starting
Got
now.
it. Okay, and Tanya says, I used to have a baking stone, but I didn't use it all that much. But I love to see people do that to use them. I like to see what they make. I just recently got a tortilla press. Oh, neat. A tortilla press sounds really cool. I think I would like that. I have noticed that the homemade tortillas do taste better than what you can get in the store. So, but everything takes time. Speaking of which, let me get around here. And wipe this off. Let's see, Thomas Moore Trains is in. Hey, I didn't know that. That's cool. Good to know. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and whip up is some bread dough, and we'll get that going. So with the bread dough, I'm going to use the Pampered Chef quart milk mixing bowl. Here we go. And this recipe is really easy. If you've never made bread before, I don't want you to worry or panic about it, because it's super, super simple. So what we're going to have is 1.5 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and yes, I'm looking at the recipe as I talk, half teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 cup of plain low-fat Greek yogurt. You can add flavoring to this if you want to, and we're going to use about a quarter teaspoon of olive oil, just enough to kind of grease the stone and grease the bowl. One of the things I like about this recipe is you make it and you don't have to wait for hours for the bread dough to rise, which is really cool. I need a spoon though. Let me grab another spoon. So a little hint here. I love these long-handled iced teaspoons. Pampered Chef doesn't have these, but they are awesome for cooking. All right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to get the Pampered Chef 2-cup measuring cup and our all-purpose flour. And what did I say I needed? 1.5 cups? Yeah. So now I'm going to start scooping to make sure I get down in this bag and get the right amounts. And I'm using the liquid portion of this measuring cup just because it's flour. When I go to use to measure out the yogurt, I'll use the other end. Okay. It's a little light on the back side there. Okay. So right here we have the 1.5 cups. That's the 1.5 cup line. Okay. And we've got Enjoying Myself is here. Hey girl. Yep. Pampered Chef. But I'm cooking some recipes tonight, and I'm using the baking stone, and this is part of the Pampered Chef party that Stellarpiper Allie is having right now. So, okay. Set this over here. And we're going to put that in there. So I really don't know where Stellarpiper is. She may be on the Facebook end. So anyway, yeah, we are doing some Pampered Chef. Let's see, that's the flour. Now I need the baking powder, which I measured using this measuring spoon that's adjustable, so you get multiple measurements out of it. Put that in there using our 1 cup bowl, measuring bowl, followed by baking powder and the salt. You're going to give that a quick whisk or stir. Now we're going to do the yogurt, and it takes 1 cup of low-fat Greek yogurt, and I'm going to just push this down. This is my, let me show you, this is my 1 cup measuring cup from Pampered Chef. You can put liquids up here, solids on this side. I'm just going to mash it down and press it down to that 1 cup mark so I can kind of see where I'm going here. All right. And you do want the plain yogurt, not the vanilla. This is just the plain. And this is the moisture for, I didn't put the salt in here. Yes, I did. Part of it stuck. Okay, so when your salt sticks like this, it just tells you that you're cooking in an atmosphere that's got some humidity going on. In 2 weeks, I'm going to Princeton, Indiana to see the Norfolk Southern. Cool. I've wanted an adjustable spoon like that. I use so many when I cook. I love it. I really like this spoon. So, okay. So now we're just going to go ahead and scoop the yogurt in. And another little baking hint that you, if you cook much, you probably run into is your yogurt or any other kind of container. So let's say you're going to do, give me some ricotta cookies. Let's say you're going to do those, which are wonderful. But just because your container says it is 16 ounces doesn't mean it's going to be 2 cups, okay? And this recipe called for cups, not by weight. So you want to always measure it and make sure you've got the right amount. So this container of Greek yogurt was 5.3 ounces. So not quite a cup anyway. but you've always still, you know, never, never, did I say never? I hope I said never. Never take the amount and translate it over, okay? Because that's when you can start getting in trouble in the kitchen. Now, if the recipes are by weight, use your weight. If the recipes are in cups, use your cups. Okay, so right here, I'm at the very tippy top, and case in point about measuring. So I needed 8 ounces, I needed the 1 cup, and that would be 8 ounces. So both of these yogurts are in the 5-ounce range, but let me show you why you should measure. This has got maybe a tablespoon left in it, and that was my second, see I don't have a lot left on the spoon. This was my second container. So this really should have had a lot more yogurt left in it than what it does. So that is why, my dears, you always want to measure it just to make sure you're at the right point. Let me set this aside right quick, and here I am back, and I'm going to show you one of the things that, it's a small thing. I like being a kid sometimes. So take the bowl, and then we're going to take this, and I can dump it, but nothing much is going to happen. But flop, just hit it at the bottom, and out it comes. I've got a little bit still stuck here, but not much. So I got that off. So if I'm going to use it for something else in a few minutes, all I have to do is wipe off the bottom of the cup, measuring cup, and there I am good to go to measure for next time. Okay. So we've got all of our ingredients in here, and we're just going to go ahead and mix them up. Let me set this over here too. So of my Pampered Chef products, I've really liked most everything that I've tried. Trying to think if there's anything I haven't liked, and so far I'm coming up with 0. Oh yeah, there was one. Southwestern seasoning. Pampered Chef has seasoning products and stuff, and we typically don't like the Southwest seasoning in this house, and that did not disappoint me. So I didn't like that, or that didn't surprise me. We didn't like that one either. But other than that, I think I've liked everything. So I'm just going through and I'm mixing this up. This makes kind of a crumbly dough. It's coming together. This is not going to be a really smooth dough like you're going to get with a lot of other breads, because it doesn't have the same kind of ingredients. When you start using the yogurt, you get a slightly different texture, but several people have told me that you also get a slightly healthier bread. I don't know, but I bet you there's somebody in this chat that can tell us, because we have a lady who in here who has even made her own yogurt. Impressed the heck out of me. So, Lori Jean, if you want to fill us in on that. So, all right. Whoops. Okay, Google, stop. Let's see what we've got going on with these cookies. Don't these look delicious? These are their cookies. However, they don't look quite like they're done yet. I went on the lower end of the spectrum, so I'm going to put them in the oven for just another minute, minute and a half, and pull them in. All right, now we're going to get the flour. And I tend to cook with flour that's on the lowest end of the cost spectrum. But you want to make up that flavor somewhere, just so I can not really notice much difference in AP all-purpose flour. So where I want to really pump the flavor up is in the other ingredients that I use. So if you're going to use vanilla, use good vanilla. Oops. Okay, Google, set a timer for a minute and a half.
Okay. Now.
So if you're going to use like vanilla for something, make sure you use a good quality vanilla. If you're going to put rosemary in something, make sure you use a good quality of rosemary because it really does affect the flavor. And I found that out after a few years of making cookies. So at Christmas this past year, I made a lot of cookies. Just type it in down there in the comment section and tell me how many cookies you think I made this past Christmas. I just want to see what you all think. I will say it was a bunch. And just a close guess is fine. So, all right, I'm going to take this out and just dump it. And we're gonna need this for about 4 minutes. So let me bend this down so hopefully you can see. I've lightly floured the surface. I'm going to lightly flour my hands too. And I'm just going to go with it. Now we've already got the clock going for the cookies. So when that gets done, I'll add another 3 minutes onto it. Okay, Google, stop. Let me get those cookies. What do we got? Ooh, yum. Okay, here we go. Don't those look delicious? I am still going to give these just another minute and a half because I think they need it. Okay, Google, set a timer for a minute and a half.
Okay. 1 seconds.
And when that
Starting
finishes, that'll put us at about the 2.5 minutes of kneading on the dough. So another thing that you want to do if you're baking, this is just a baking hint, is my oven may not be working exactly right. So if you have any doubts or thoughts about your oven, get an oven thermometer. My oven tends to be just about 5 degrees off. The oven in the previous place where we lived was up to, I think it was 20 degrees almost. It's not uncommon for home ovens to be off sometimes for as much as 30 degrees. It doesn't mean your oven isn't working. It just means that sometimes it's calibrated too low, or it could be if you've got an older element that the element may need some TLC. So as we work this, it is becoming a much smoother dough. Now I'm just doing this with a plain flavor. It's going to have just a little bit of a sour tang, sort of like sourdough, but not quite. But if you wanted to put rosemary in it or make dill bread, then you would have already added those ingredients prior to mixing it up. Okay, Google, stop. Ah. Perfect. Those look perfect to me. What do you all think? Do they look good enough to eat? I think so. So we're going to take these off right quick. We're going to have to transfer them over to our rack to let them cool. I'm going to bring you over here. We're actually going to need that in a minute. Now, if you have a stand mixer, yes, you can knead that dough on your stand mixer. I could have sworn I had my cookie spatula right here. I don't, so I'm going to use a regular spatula. So do I have guesses on how many cookies I made last Christmas? I made more than I did the Christmas before. And I may have mentioned it on the live stream. Ooh. Now I'm doing the cookies ahead of the bread because they cook faster and they cook at a lower temperature. So if you're going to cook multiple things in your oven on different temperatures, go with the lowest temperature first because it's easier to turn that up than it is to take it down. All right. So at this point, what we're going to do, the bread cooks at 450 degrees. So I'm going to go right on down there. Hey, over 50 and Fantabulous is in. Wow, thank you so much. She just gave us a $5 super chat there. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Okay, so we're setting this oven to 450 degrees. And this, I have to cook the bread on the lowest rack. So all I do for that is I just take the top rack and move it up and put it on the top rack. That way I don't have to worry about losing my cooking rack. So now I have this other challenge. I have got cookie dough all over my stoneware, right? So I'm cooking two different items and I'm cooking at two different temperatures. So how do I do this? Well, let me show you how easy it is. Super, super easy. Have you all ever used cast iron? You know how with cast iron, you just scrape it and then you put it in the oven or in hot water and then put it in the oven? Okay, this sound is awful, but that's what you do. Let me get it out here. Here we go. But that's all you do for this. I'm not going to stick it straight under the water faucet right now because I don't want to do thermal shock because it's stoneware and it's extremely durable and it's wonderful and it's super heavy that anything can succumb to shock. So be nice to it. I'm going to walk it over here to the sink and just brush it off. And that, my dearies, is how easy it is to get the stoneware to go for the next item. How's that for cool? Now let's get back over here and knead this dough for just another minute and get it ready for the stoneware. I'm also going to use the olive oil container. I'll show you that in just a second. And I've got about 1 minute. Let me put this over here. Okay, so I'm also going to scoot this back just a little bit. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to roll this out. Pampered Chef has its own rolling pin, but I like mine. I'm kind of funny about the rolling pins. I don't know why. So just a little bit more flour. And on those cookies, I didn't see any answers that were close. So I'll go ahead and tell you, I made right at 1,000 cookies this past summer. This past summer, listen to me. I don't know if I'm coming or going today. Past Christmas. Okay, so we're just going to roll this out a little bit just because I don't really want a large round loaf. Now you can do that. Absolutely no problem with doing that. But smaller loaves cook faster. And in just a little while, I'm going to go over to Allie's Pampered Chef Party and show you what this looks like cooked. Okay? Let me come back over here. I got signed out of my laptop. Huh? I'm telling you, not a good time to get signed out. Oh, now it's trying to tell me the service is unavailable. I know it is not. That's not correct. Okay, so I just want to double check the length of time it takes to cook the bread. To prepare this recipe in a conventional oven, preheat to 450. Bake crust on lowest rack of oven 14 to 16 minutes or until golden brown. Top as desired. So you can use this recipe for a pizza dough if you like that. So we're going to come over here. One thing I need to do for this is the bread is I need to add just a little bit of olive oil. And that means I am going to just squeeze this a few times. The olive oil will come up and then I just pour it on the pan. This is going to add some flavor and also help with the non-stick properties of the stoneware. There we go. Now let me get that bread. There it is. I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit more. And it goes in the 450 degree preheated oven, which is where we are. So we're going to slide this in. Bottom rack. And there you go. It's in the oven. So, woo! There we go. So that's how versatile the stoneware piece is. You don't have to use it just for cookies or just for breads. You can use it for pretty much anything. If you want to do biscuits on it, it does fabulous for biscuits. Yeah, I really like it. And love these measuring spoons and just the other stuff that I've used. These are the products that I use the most often, and I use them all the time. As you can see from this cutting mat. And honestly, I like the cutting mats enough that I got another set, not just for in the house, but for the van, because these are that great. And if I want to kind of curl them up a little bit and stick them on my shelf in the van, I can do that, and they're still good to go when I have to cut them. Another product that I really like to use is their knives, their kitchen knives, because they've stayed sharper longer than the other knives that I've had. Let me grab those. Oh, I didn't put a timer on that. Whoopsies. What do we say, 6 to 9 minutes? I think it's really going to take a little longer than that, but I'm going to check it at 9. So, okay, Google, put a timer for 9 minutes.
Okay.
Over 50 just shared it, and I appreciate that a lot. Yay, good for you, Joanne. Now, Joanne's got a lot of good recipes, and her channel is where I got the idea to make the pie that didn't go well. So I gotta redo that. Hang on, let me stick this in the sink right quick. And I want to get this off my hands. Gotta get a clean towel. So I dropped the other one. But their kitchen knives, I really like those because they've, like I said, they stayed sharper than any of the others that I've had. The measuring bowls are awesome. These are the 1 cup, and I've got the ones, the 2s or 1.5. I forgot which. And the 3s. I like those. They've got the lids, so they're great. I use the 3s a lot for the van life because when I'm out in the van, sometimes I just want to make soup in the crock pot. And I will, like if I'm going to do a kidney bean cabbage soup, for example, I will brown the hamburger on my mini griddle and throw the cabbage and the spaghetti sauce and stuff over in the crock pot. Let it go, and then when I'm ready to stop for the evening, dinner's done. But I always have extra left. So what I like to do then is put the rest of it directly in that 3-cup bowl, and I will warm that up the next day or whatever in the crock pot, and then just dump it back in the bowl and eat out of that, and I have one less item to wash. Which, if you're in a van, you don't want to use a lot of extra water because your water is limited. I've got 6 gallons in there, so you gotta kind of ration your water a little bit in a van. Also, I love them for the RV because they are so versatile. You know, freezer, fridge, table, you know, room temperature, you got it. Let's see, Joanne says, thank you, Gayle. Try it again. I'm sure you'll be fine. I don't know, but I am going to try it again. It seemed to be a good recipe. We're talking about the pie, and Pampered Chef has got a pie pan that looks like it's going to be great. I have it on my wish list, so one of these days I'll get it. But Joanne's referencing the pie, which the recipe idea I got off of her channel. So check it out. It's really pretty good. And as far as cooking goes, Over 50 and Fantabulous has some wonderful cooking videos. tons and tons of stuff. And when we're talking about Pampered Chef, since I'm doing this in conjunction with Stellarpiper with Allie's Pampered Chef Party, the Pampered Chef website, and I am going to link that in the description box after the live stream. But they have got a ton of recipes there that are just awesome. And that's where I got the recipe for the bread that we're making tonight. So they've got that and just about every other kind of recipe that you can think of, which is awesome. And they have recipe books available and some ebooks that you can download and just the recipe cards that you can download. The cards and some of the ebooks are free, but they have got tons of recipes. They've got them for budget, for vegan, for time consuming, 30 minutes or less. They've got appetizers, desserts, entrees, side dishes, anything that you would want. And everybody's got access to that, okay? You don't have to have a Pampered Chef party like Allie is doing to get access to the recipes. So that's why I'm going to put the link down below. So it's really good. And let's see. Oh, thank you. Lynn has just put my road trip to Alaska playlist down in the description box. And I appreciate that. That was one heck of a road trip too. Did that for a church, part of a mission team there. I drove a bunch of stuff overland. Some of the team flew, and then we had another team that also drove. And the drive's really hard at times. It's not a bad drive, but what made it hard this time was, you guys may remember British Columbia fires, where the smoke spread everywhere. So I had to drive through that. And that made this trip kind of hard. But I will say that Pampered Chef does do fundraisers. So if you're a church that's looking at doing a mission trip and you're trying to raise funds for it, doing it with Pampered Chef might be a good tie-in. And what I say is, the fundraiser, they don't get a large percentage. I think it's 15% for fundraisers. But what I like to say is, have the fundraiser and then tell people, if at some point during the year they're going to order for Pampered Chef anyway, like bridal shower, birthday, just because gifts, then go ahead and do it while the church is having the fundraiser. So you get double benefit out of it. But that road trip was amazing. Valerie Reese was in here just a little while ago. She was part of the mission team. My husband, sometimes he pops in and out. I don't know if he's been here yet or not, but he was, of course, part of the mission team. And Stellarpiper, that we're doing the party for, she was part of the mission team. And we had a bunch more people, and it was really hard work, but it was fun hard work. We cut wood for the whole week, and stacked wood, and cut more wood, and delivered wood. But it went to those who wouldn't have heating wood otherwise. So they saved the wood and they distributed it during the coldest months of the year, which would be like January and February. Of course, priority goes to people who have a disability or something going on that would keep them from normally being able to have the wood. Going back to the Pampered Chef stuff that we're talking about, this stoneware piece that's in the oven right now is something that you can use on the griddle. So that's an option too. If you have a camp stove, you might be able to use it, on the grill. If you have a camp stove, you can use it on the grill. That's what they tell us. I haven't tried that yet, but if you do, let me know, okay? Because I want to know how it works. And let's see. Here we go. She's got my New Mexico playlist too. Oh, thank you. I'll be going back out to New Mexico. We have the grandbaby that we have rather. She's just amazing. She was born at 25 weeks instead of 40. So the New Mexico playlist is all about us going out to New Mexico, and I put in lots of things about the places we went and the things we did. Because sometimes, people think about states and think they don't necessarily have a lot to offer. and then when you start looking, you kind of get blown away. And I like, with my videos, I like to highlight the free and cheap stuff to help make it affordable, for people to go places. Okay, Valerie Reese says she has to try the stone over the fire pit this summer. Definitely let me know how that goes, because I can't wait. I would love to know. Okay, let me see. Okay, Google, how much is left on the timer?
T-minus 26.
Cool. Let me go over here and check this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Here we go. Oh, my stars. Okay, Google, stop. Here it is. It is. That's our bread. And you can use it, like I said, it can be a pizza crust, or I think I'm just going to put butter on it in just a minute, but I got to let it cool for just a minute. Woo! I guess I should dip it. Yeah, it springs back nicely. Hot. Very, very hot. So, all right. So y'all, I'm going to give that just a few minutes to cool. I'm going to put it over on the other rack, and then I'm going to take a photo of it and put it both in the Facebook group and on the community tab on the post here. So thank you all for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I know that Stellarpiper, she's going to be thrilled. She's over on the Facebook side of this, and thank you all so much. Again, over 50 says it looks perfect. So, yeah, I think it looks pretty good too. So, thank you all again for watching, and I'll post a picture of it just as soon as it cools enough for me to cut it. So, thank you all. Don't forget, we are always about not letting life get in the way of living on this channel. No, it didn't stick at all. It really, I think I can show you that. Well, I'm moving the whole everything here. No sticking. It did not stick at all. So, yeah. So, all right. Come back to the community tab shortly and take a look at the bread and check it out on Facebook too. Thank you all again so much. You have a good night. Goodbye.